I have been told that I will be absolutely broken by SCP-001 when day breaks. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I don't know if this is like a whole sun type shit. Like, I don't know what is going on. But I feel like in the comment section of my SCP lore deep dives, this is one of the most requested. So we're going to be jumping into this one right now.
And walking for days, your body aches. You're dripping with sweat from the heat of the sun bearing...
I don't know. I feel like this entire issue that he's about to describe does not exist if you just simply never touch grass. Ladies and gentlemen, the ultimate hack's ability of not leaving your house has once again successfully thwarted a giga threat.
Down overhead, and yet you're wrapped up in layers upon layers of clothing. Even your face is covered, and you're wearing thick black goggles so that not a single centimeter of your body is exposed.
What?
Your journey has been long, and you feel like you might die from exhaustion.
What is going on?
Or from overheating due to these multiple layers of clothes. But dying is better than being...
What? Wait, whoa! If it's so hot, why are you wearing...
exposed. You saw it happen when your entire team changed. The light cannot be trusted, not even for a fraction.
Oh my, wait, the light, this light is the SCP? This light is the SCP, and if it sees your skin, it melts you? Is that the gimmick here?
Of a second. It's been like this
horrifying.
for years. You've learned and survived through pain.
For years? Dude, just leave the desert. Oh my God, who do you think you are, Moses?
Full experience. Many of those you used to know cannot say the same. You've been alone for so long. You might have given up all hope if it wasn't for the distress signal coming from a nearby SCP Foundation containment facility, Site 46.
Okay.
Any kind of survivors would be better than nothing, no matter what kind of sorry shape they were in, as long as they were still human.
Yep, that might be one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. What is the monster? What is this SCP? The light? The light in this specific location?
You find your way to an opening in the side of a mountain and slide into the cave, hoping you weren't spotted. The whole world is crawling with those things now.
What the fuck? The sun is a monster, is an SCP. It's all over the world. It just melts creatures into each other in this weird body horror pile of shit, people.
You can't let
it doesn't melt you, it turns you into like a living flesh blob zombie.
yourself be seen. As you trudge down the cave towards the entrance, you see what looks like a huge black snail trail splattered on the ground, leading into the facility. You try to avoid it and press on. You don't even need a key card to enter. The door has been left ajar.
Ah! Oh my god, I'm actually shaking. What is even going on?
It reeks of those things, but you can't see any of them. You just hope they've moved on and left some human survivor.
Dude, what is this? This amalgamation of this is like Dark Souls shit, except
in their way.
Literally scarier. What is even going on? Join the blob. Join the blob!
The place looks abandoned. Every step you take echoes through the empty halls. When you find that the elevator's out, you take the stairs all the way down to level B5, Keter Containment. Lucky for you, it seems all the cells are empty now.
Oh my god, why is that lucky for you? That's horrifying. Wait, how is this fitting into the lore of the overarching SCP world? But why is it SCP-001?
Horrors that were kept inside of them have all long since
No, it's my boy. It's the doctor guy, the immortal lizard guy. I know these guys.
The coup. You keep following that slimy black trail until you find an abandoned office. There are no people here anymore. Just a broken barricade, some empty medicine bottles, and a bucket that the people inside the office had apparently been using as a toilet. You breathe a sigh of disappointment at finding no one alive here, but you're at least relieved to be out of the sun. You can finally remove your jacket and head wrap. With your uncovered eyes, you notice that a nearby computer terminal is still powered up.
Wait, so let me get this straight. Is this an alternate universe right now? Where in this universe, it's SCP-001? Because this is the only SCP that matters. Because with this SCP existing, every other bit of creation that's touched by the sunlight becomes an amalgamous blob. You don't need SCP-002 because when day breaks is literally too dangerous for any other life to survive. That's harrowing.
Sit down at the desk and turn on the monitor. Because of the emergency procedures put into place in a K-class scenario like this, safeguards no longer apply. You can access all the information you need, up to and including finding out what actually happened. In the dull glow of a nearby emergency light, you see a dark shape slumping through the halls.
Oh God, bro! Freaking is horrifying. It's just an amalgamous blob. What are they, communists?
You tense up, then exhale as it slithers off into an adjoining hall. You're safe, for now. The terminal has finally loaded and authenticated your access.
Let's go.
You're staring at the file for SD Lock's proposal.
All right,
for
let's look up SD logs, small dick logs. That's the ultimate. If I added something called SD logs, standing for small dick logs, no one would look because my cock is so big. It's like a kaiju down there.
SCP-001 When Day Breaks. It's the only name you can give the apocalypse your world is currently experiencing.
It's an actual apocalypse. 001 is an actual apocalypse.
This is one of the only anomalies in the entire history of the SCP Foundation to be given the Apollyon Containment class, meaning containment is truly impossible.
Bro! Actually insane. So the Apollyon class is far beyond anything I've ever seen.
SCP-001 is the most dangerous enemy that the Foundation and planet Earth has ever faced. It's always been the principle of the SCP Foundation to battle in the dark so that the civilian world can thrive in the light. But now the light has become the enemy. Anyone exposed to any amount of sunlight for even the briefest period of time is subjected to the effects of SCP-001. And those effects—
And it schmerbles them! It literally Cronenbergs all of them!
—are beyond horrifying. The SCP Foundation Administrator released an urgent memo telling Foundation personnel to make their way to Site-19 at all costs. Because they need all the help they can get. Those exposed
But what do you even do against this? You can't blow up the sun. Like, what even are you going to do?
001 in the process are no longer considered human. Their new designation is SCP-001-A.
Oh my God. Anyone that gets touched by this light is instantly losing their status of a human.
These new entities are to be avoided at all costs. But in case of emergencies, the administrator says it is permitted to cut off parts of your transformed comrades and eat them to avoid starvation.
Bro, it's not called cannibalism anymore because they're just no longer considered human. There's no winning. This is so much scarier than like a zombie apocalypse, for example. In a zombie apocalypse, you feel like there's some way you could counteract it. Maybe there's some sort of drug that could save the day. There is no future.
The memo empathically states that no attempt should be made to kill them, since you won't succeed. You'll just put yourself at risk. When the sun changed and became SCP-001, it instantly affected 6.8 billion innocent people. The second the visible light touched them, whether it was from the sun itself or even reflected
Wait, so just one day it got this ability? One day it got the SCP-001 qualities that started melting people?
The moon, their bodies liquefied.
The reflection off the moon? I thought at least you could, during the night you could get out. There is literally no way.
Melting like candle wax into puddles of living gelatinous slime.
Yeah.
This effect isn't isolated to humans either. Any biological entity exposed to sunlight immediately underwent the same irreversible melting process into
Any biological life? That's plants.
SCP-001-A. And the horror had only just begun. People transformed into SCP-001-A will remain shades of their former intelligence and personality. They may even try to will their new gooey mass into a shape resembling their original form.
Oh my God, it didn't just happen instantly that as they started melting their humanity. It was a slow process of slowly losing who they are. The slowly losing yourself. Bro, this is a certified made in abyss moment.
However, these individuals will lose their sense of self if they come into contact with other instances of SCP-001-A. When they come together, 001-A instances will bond on a molecular level, wading up into horrific giant blobs with only one purpose.
They just become envy from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Integrating more matter into their bodies.
These guys are gonna need some Pokemon cookies vitamin D soon because there's no way you're gonna survive this shit. Oh my lord, this is a nightmare.
That's why they have to be avoided.
This is just gonna be a world inhabited by Discord and Reddit mods that never saw sunlight.
All costs. You continue to search the computer terminal for answers. Perhaps there was some kind of contingency plan put in place for this. Some way to reverse the effects, or at least escape the nightmare Earth has become. Instead, you find a series of attachments linked to the SCP-001 file, detailing what seems to be the last days of the people who'd barricaded themselves in the facility. Most prominent among these were researcher Dr. Logan Igata, her wife Ari, a security officer named Commander Anad, and a few others.
Alright,
Dr.
so
Igata.
These are the people that I guess they were in the base when this started. They survived a couple of days until what? Like, I guess, like, dude, how do you even want to live in a world like this anymore?
Had locked herself in the office where she recorded her final messages to the world. In the first audio log, Dr. Igata and her companions seemed afraid, but hopeful that there may be some way out of this situation.
What?
Dr. Igata reported that most of the workers at the facility were transformed during the initial event.
Obviously.
Their melted bodies had fused outside the facility.
Oh my lord, this is
Now
a hellscape.
they were trying to bust their way back in.
I don't know,
Defensive-
guys. I guess it's just a future as an SCP-001-A. That's the future. Embrace the blob. Become a communist.
Had held so far, though, and they seemed confident they would hold
50
long
weeks
enough
a year is darkness, yes, but the moon reflects the sunlight.
for them to figure out a way to escape this awful situation. You open the second attachment, an incident report, and realize things may not have been as hopeful as Dr. Igata let on. She
Oh my god, even in this hopeless situation, it's still not as hopeful as you thought. Oh god.
reported hearing the huge mass of melted creatures hammering on the door outside again, begging for them to come out and experience the sun with them. They wanted desperately to add to their ever-growing biomass. In order to experiment with what exactly would happen, they sent out one of their few remaining D classes wearing a full protective
This is the end of the SCP Foundation. This is the end of everything.
suit. He didn't last long.
Well, yeah,
The
big
huge
surprise.
creature grabbed him with tentacles made of reconstituted flesh.
Ah!
He began ripping off his protective suit as he screamed for mercy. It was a monster made of dozens of people and animals. He could
Dude.
never overpower it. The second the sun touched his skin, he melted away and was absorbed by the great mass holding him in place.
Well, time to become fantasy dwarves. Live in the mines, live in the caves, don't get vitamin D, enjoy your midnight mini Mina cookies, and that's it.
Guns were ineffective against these SCP-001-A super entities. Fire would do no good. It seemed that extremely low temperatures were the only way to slow the immense blobs down. And even then, not permanently.
And even
There
then,
was
what are you gonna do? What, you're gonna fight off every bit of organic life in the universe?
one ray of light in the darkness. The site director had a secret tunnel underneath his office, connected to a tram that could hopefully take
What a
them
bitch.
directly to Site 19 without risk of SCP-001 exposure. It was a good plan, and by far the best option they had available to them.
It's an option
But
to survive another day. It's not an option to survive.
the best plans often don't work in practice. You open the next attachment on the terminal. This time, it's a video feed. You can actually see Dr. Logan Igata, and she looks harrowed by what she's experienced. As it turns out, while the others, including her wife Ari, attempted to exit through the tunnel, something had happened.
What?
Dr. Igata heard Ari's voice over her radio, but there was something wrong with it. It was too low, too guttural.
Dude started murbling. Bro, but he got affected somehow. What, how did he see the light? How did the light find him?
And filled with gurgles. SCP-001 had gotten her. She was changed. The monster from above
Oh
had
my
crawled in
God.
through the ceiling. It had taken them all.
Wait, so it's not just the sun that can liquefy you? It's also the SCP-001-A's that liquefy you? How did the blob sneak up on them? I don't know. Fell out of a freaking air vent in the ceiling. Who knows? It's a blob. It could glurble around.
All of them, and converted them into something less than human. Any hope of escape now seemed gone. Ray told Dr. Igata that it would be fine, that it was such a bright, beautiful day outside, and she was wasting it locked up inside that office. She tormented Dr. Igata with shared memories of their life and love, of that day in the sun.
That's horrible. Remember how we loved each other, you know, before I got turned into living nut.
They bound their lives together. The monster with Ari's voice did everything it could to try to convince her to give up and join them, but she wasn't ready to go just yet. You look away from the screen when you hear a sound in the corner. You see a dark puddle of some unknown substance, and then some skeletal hands rising out of it. The hands are pulling themselves out of the puddle, followed by a skeletal face.
My God, what the frick is this? How does this fit into the lore? This is a totally new random power they just came up with.
It's covered in matted hair. You have to stop yourself from screaming until a flash from a nearby security light makes the figure disappear.
What?
It's a normal puddle once again. Your mind is playing tricks on you.
This is just trauma. Man's just traumatized AF.
You open the next attachment, another video, and see that Dr. Igata's condition has deteriorated. She looked pale, frantic, and thin. She was using a knife to draw her own blood onto a piece of blood-stained parchment covered in strange symbols. Igata ranted about her theory. What if 001 took the minds and bodies of its victims, but not their souls?
What? Oh God, she lost it. She just so lost it. Oh my God, it's over. This is the worst. The actual worst SCP I've ever seen.
Performing some kind of arcane blood ritual, she hoped to at least rescue and keep the soul of Ari, even if her mind and body were lost. You open the next attachment. It seemed that Agata's ritual worked, but not in the way she hoped. The twisted soul of Ari, driven mad by SCP-001, had taken over the file. It begins corrupting the text of the SCP-001 file into crazy ranting about how futile it is to fight. It then cuts to an even more frightening video feed. Dr. Igata, in her sleep, tossing and turning in a makeshift bed in the corner of her office.
Well, I guess random blood rituals are now canon.
Approaches her in first person and lingers over her sleeping body. An oily skeletal hand reaches past the camera and runs its fingers through Dr. Igata's hair. It's that exact same hand you saw reaching out of that black puddle earlier. You must have seen Ari's lingering spirit. With a lump in your throat, you open the next attachment and watch the video.
I feel like they really did not need to go down this entire satanic ritual. Bro, this is horrifying enough without getting into that.
You see Dr. Igata, now truly broken. She'd been haunted by Ari's demonic spirit for a long time now, and it is clearly
Dude, what is she eating in here?
She is waving around a handgun while she speaks. She now believes there's only one way to escape, but not like this. She doesn't want the gun to draw attention to her body. She doesn't want to become part of that mass, even if she is dead. She opens a drawer on her desk.
Oh my God, dude. Even death doesn't get you out of this.
She's recording at and places the gun inside. Dr. Igata then apologizes to her loved ones who are likely long since dead or assimilated and turns off the recording for the last time. In that moment, you realize there's a single drawer in the desk in front of you.
Oh my God.
When you reach forward and open it, you see the same handgun Dr. Igata was holding is laying inside.
But where is Igata? Where is the doctor, though?
You pick it up and study it, weighing your options. Perhaps there truly is no other way out. Then you see an update on the file. One more attachment has been added while you were studying the gun. You feel your heart pounding in your chest as you reach forward and open the attachment. The text has been changed entirely.
What?
The file on SCP-001 is now a poem, an ode to the sun and to the love they shared.
Wait, hold up, wait. Who's writing this? Where is this intelligence? Is there like some sort of intelligence to this sun?
File spontaneously opens itself on the screen. It's a video of you. Shot.
Nope. We're gone. It's over. Goodbye. Nope. I thought it was horrible enough. Oh God. Oh boy. Get the frick out of there, bro.
From behind, you see those oily skeletal hands reaching for you in the dark.
Oh my God.
Just like they did with Dr. Igata. In that moment, You panic and fire the gun behind you, hoping to scare off the spirit. Instead, the sound of the gunshots attracts something far worse.
Actually horrible. Dude, listen, I guess joining the blob is better.
Immense blob of screaming melted flesh charges towards the office. You try to barricade the door, but it is not enough. The flesh seeps and bursts through and grabs you in its meaty tentacles. You scream and try to escape, but it won't save you. Nothing will save you.
That's that.
The flesh carries you upstairs, out through the empty halls.
Oh my god, into the sun. It just slowly brings you into the sun.
To the cave. You can see the light in the distance as the blob ferries you towards it. You won't be alone for much longer. In fact, you won't be alone ever again.
Oh my lord, that was awful! Join the blob. Holy crap. Oh my god. Alright, we're done. Goodbye. Goodbye. The end. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam.